What is going on? Welcome back to another one of our Charlie Alpha. Now, I'm still workshopping the name, so bear with me here. But for our release communications for July, we're going to be diving through some of the updates, some of the things that we've been doing. The focus has really been less is more and improving stability of the baseline functions of Charlie. So without further ado, we're going to dive into some of the updates. First thing that we are diving into is our voice redials activated DM setter. Now this is powerful. So if you go inside of Charlie, you click on your AI setter, you go to the voice agent. On the right hand side under settings, you scroll down under functions, you'll see enable redials. Now this allows Charlie to redial the leads, but if the lead doesn't pick up the phone, now you'll see underneath it, activate a DM setter. So now you can configure a DM setter that the voice agent can activate if they don't pick up the phone, which is powerful in getting us one step closer to our omni-channel use cases. So you can trigger a DM agent if somebody doesn't pick up the phone, and this really makes your use cases way more powerful. So now you can activate a voice agent to do an outbound call. It calls a lead, double dials them, redials them, person doesn't pick up, then it tags in the DM agent to send them a text message. And now you've got both the voice calling the lead and the DM agent texting the lead. And whichever one gets a hold of them first, it'll kill the other one and then proceed with whatever channel the lead replied in. Next, we've got our Zapier actions. Now, we are building a really powerful app inside of Zapier. So inside of the Zapier workflows, you can now, we can add DM and voice triggers with the Zapier native actions. So now we can essentially trigger a Zapier app based on a DM agent or based on a voice agent. This is really, really powerful. So if you're not using one of our native CRMs like HubSpot or GHL, you can use Charlie via this powerful Zapier integration. So essentially, we can go from one use case and trigger another use case based on actions that are taken inside of Zapier, which is super, super awesome. So there are these new trigger events there. So you can see all the different trigger events. You can see booking reached. You can see Charlie CTA DM reach. So you can see booking reached DM, booking reach voice, CTA reached DM, CTA reach for voice, DQ reach DM, DQ reach for voice. And so now we can trigger other actions inside of other softwares based on these trigger events inside of Zapier. And the team's been doing a great job continuing to build our apps and our integrations. So final thing for July is our team functions. So for those of you that don't know, we've had teams for a long time inside of Charlie. You can add your team to Charlie, but we've had to redo and refactor the team functionality. So I want to dive into it. So this one's a little bit more complex and there's a few things having tied to it. So Charlie customers don't have access to create a team option. So you're not going to be able to create a team. You're going to have a team automatically created. If you want additional teams, you need to reach out to the DM, your account manager, because there is additional billing per team. So we don't bill per user, we bill per team. So you can have as big of a team as you want, but you can only have one team, and each team has their own integrations tied to it. So all new accounts are going to have a default team. So this is just a Charlie team. And so this is for your own internal purposes. This allows you to manage your setters, billing, set up phone numbers, all those things. And then what happens is when you create a new team or when the default team is created, you will be forced to be the own setter for that team. So that means if you're the owner, you control the billing, you control the numbers, you control anyone else who has access to your DM setters. After that, you can invite teams to invite your users or invite your team to your using the team functionality. So you just click invite team member and then you go through the process of giving them access. Now, what's really, really important is if you give a member on your team owner access, then they can change the billing, right? And they can delete you as a user. So it's very, very important that you don't play around with the owner access. We'll show the billing, you can edit and they can put their card details on file, and team owners can't be deleted. All right, so don't make anybody else a team owner unless you want them to have full control over your account. And so under the permissions tab, you can edit the permissions of everyone on your team. You can give them access to manage phone numbers, and then you can give them access to view all the different users, all the different use cases, and then you can give them access, admin access, editor access, or viewer access. If they're an admin, they can pretty much do all the things the owner can do, except for delete the owner and delete the billing details. All right. So then you can see all the different roles from the members tab. So you can see the roles there. And then under settings, if you want to make somebody else the owner of your team, you're going to have to select somebody else as the owner. So if you want to turn yourself off as the owner, you're going to have to select and add somebody else on your team as the owner. Right. So you can see this cannot be disabled because permission assigned a team owner first in order to be able to do that. So you have to assign a new team owner. Now, once you assign a team owner, then you can switch the owner status off for yourself, and then they will be the one that manages the billing. So this is really only if you're planning on reselling Charlie or adding a new company under your Charlie account. So let's say you have multiple companies inside of your portfolio and you want to add more than one company to your Charlie account, but you don't want them to create a completely new Charlie account, then let us know. We can create a new team. And if you want that team billing to be managed by whoever's running that company that you're going to be adding to your account, then you can do so. And that's where the owner function really comes in, right? If you don't need it, don't concern yourself with it. It's really for multiple team functionalities for people with multiple businesses or potential resellers or anyone who wants to resell Charlie and become a reseller. You have the ability to add sub accounts, add additional teams, and then grant other people access to those additional teams, and you have full access into how those teams operate. And then you're essentially creating it and then having them manage the billing associated with that team. All right. So if you have any questions, let me know. But until next time, stay calm, change lives, and have business on your terms. Peace.